We just heard one of the top officers, and he said that if you have a problem with the NIA, or the Chief Minister knows, and this is my question, if the Chief Minister knows that a notorious role is being played by a central agency, go to a court instead of making such statements in the public domain. Manojit.
First of all, you are completely, misconstruing the statement by the Chief Minister. It's a complete misrepresentation of her statement. She has never said that NIA is fomenting communal tension. But yes, we have got serious question about the role of NIA in this country, especially keeping in mind the background of its creation, which was supported wholeheartedly by Mamata Banerjee when it came out in the parliament in December 2008. And I do not need to repeat the context of it. It was post-2611 that NIA was carved out of CBI for special purpose inquiring into terrorist activity. The earlier speaker was spot on while he was saying this. What he was really glossing over, and I would like to believe deliberately so, NIA is not supposed to deal with a law and order issue, right? First, please let them justify why NIA has been inducted into an investigation which was already carried out by the Kolkata police, even if it is a communal clash which happened between two groups, between two clubs, within few meter radius. I tell you, when the situation was entirely under control, when the court was seized of the matter, they constituted a SIT. I would like to know justification of induction of NIA for such petty cases. Okay. I repeat, so, is NIA meant for... No. Let me complete. I make this charge once again. Is NIA Act say that they will investigate into such petty cases of quote-unquote communal violence? This is the question that I want to pose to the Prime Minister of this country, because NIA also runs on my money.
No,
I would
right.
like to know, is it a case of terrorism?
You began.
That you are also
Manojit.
Is it a case of national security?
Manojit.
What happened in Mominpur, is it a case of national security?
Manojit, you began by saying that you've misunderstood the statement of Mamata Banerjee. She's not said that NIA is stoking tensions. Then I looked at your entire argument and how you structured your argument. You ended by saying that what is the mandate of the NIA in basically looking at an instance of communal violence. So what you're not saying directly, you're essentially saying indirectly. Why don't you say directly?
I'm again saying the NIA role. What is the role of NIA? For suppose there were communal tension, there were communal violence in this country. There are other states where, again, I repeat, 26% increase happens in Karnataka, in Uttar Pradesh. Are NIA going everywhere to investigate into the matter? Or again, the next question that he probably did not understand: what refreshingly new document, data, evidences that NIA has found in this particular case that the Kolkata police did not find? Is it a case of national security at all?
It is.
Want to pose this question.
It is convenient for you to say that whether I or somebody else understood the question or not. But I think you are saying what I said in the beginning, that NIA is acting irresponsibly. That's your allegation. You're also saying, okay, aren't you saying that the agency is exceeding its brief and mandate? Are you saying that the agency is exceeding its brief and mandate? You're not saying that.
Who runs the agency?
All right. Shatorupa, please come into the discussion. I don't think
comes under Mr. Amit Shah, and Amit Shah acts at the behest of a person called Subhendu Adhikari, who is a fraud. I repeat.
All right. Shatorupa, I'm coming to you. I don't think you can make a head and tail of an argument like this. I'll go back to my original argument. There are some very serious questions that have been raised on the... Manojit, I am raising that question. You have to let me finish. You have to let me finish my argument. Shatorupa, I'm coming to you. Shatorupa, I'm coming to you. The key question that has been raised by the TMC is that NIA is acting outside its mandate. What is the task of the NIA to really look at petty matters which concern communal violence? And he's not saying it directly, but clearly the role of NIA in the state of West Bengal is being questioned by the ruling TMC. And the political aspect of it you heard. You're saying that they're working at the behest of the political masters. Respond to that, Shatorupa.
I've been, as usual, very amused by the way Manojit Mandal keeps on and on about something which he thinks is relevant. But anyway, coming to basically your question, this is one government, Trinamool government, ever since they've come, they've been crying foul at the drop of a hat. And you have to agree, you will remember the track record of Trinamool. They have a problem with Election Commission of India. They have a problem with the ED, the CBI, anything which is run by the central government, or they think. What they completely forget is that these are not run by the central government. They are all independent agencies, which obviously have their base in the center, in Delhi. Now, NIA, for example, I mean, I'm right now, I'd like to shelve the other agencies, but as far as NIA is concerned, I'm sure Manojit Mandal, in all his learned experience, he will know, is National Investigative Agency. Now, you will also have to agree that geographically, West Bengal is absolutely sharing almost 75% of our border with an international country, an international border with Bangladesh. And we have had several incidents where openly the Honorable Chief Minister has been known for her appeasement policy, and she has been known to fan this kind of communal elements.
Give me an example.
We have had
Shatorupa, give me an example. No, give me an example. I asked the same questions to Manojit as well. I'll ask you the same question. Give me one example.
From Manojit Mandal himself.
Yeah.
I'm quoting from Manojit Mandal himself. He himself said that right now we have a communal incident where NIA has no business, to investigate.
How does that prove that Chief Minister had something to do with it, no?
I did not say this.
Chief Minister has made West Bengal.
Manojit ji, I'm taking the argument. I'm taking the argument.
Absolutely no other doubts about it. She has been openly advocating appeasement. She has been openly, sheltering terrorists to such an extent that West Bengal is now known to be a safe haven for terrorists.
No, but Shatorupa ji, the same questions run for you as well. Manojit ji, I'll come back to you. The same question, Shatorupa, runs for you as well. That if you are politicizing agencies which are doing their job, whether it's the police authorities or the law and order administration, if you have a grievance, you go to a court of law. Making allegations like these will only jeopardize the internal security of a state. And you yourself pointed out how West Bengal shares its borders with Bangladesh, and in multiple districts, the situation is already very sensitive. So, does this kind of politics really befit a party like BJP?
No. We are not doing politics here. You have to understand that the people of West Bengal had initially allowed police to start its investigation. But our police, which is run directly by the Honorable Chief Minister herself, who scrounges behind files to take shelter, who is now known for biting people, you really think that the police track record of the West Bengal police track record really speaks volumes of their investigating analysis?
All right. Yes. No, Manojit ji, I'll come to you. I'll give you the opportunity to respond. Manojit da, a response from you, then I'll bring in other guests as well into the discussion.
First of all, she has blatantly said that Mamata is sheltering terrorists. This is a defamatory comment. I take strong objection to such nonsensical comment of a very responsible person. Whereas everyone knows in this country.
Shatorupa ji, I do think. Shatorupa ji, I do think that these kind of personal and borderline defamatory comments we all should abstain from. This is a civil debate on a national television. That's how it should be. Shatorupa ji, I'll come back to you. I will give you all the time to make your arguments. Right now, a response from Manojit Mandal, please. Yes.
Whereas everyone in this country knows that their leader in Kashmir, the chief of BJP in Kashmir, he was found with a terrorist. He was arrested by NIA, and that should have been the task of NIA. I repeat, I did not say that Mominpur was a communal incident. If you do not understand my language, please listen to it again. I said that you are accusing, even if that is a legal argument which a spokesperson should understand. Even if it is a communal incident, should the NIA be inducted into it? This is the argument.
No, but if the NIA thinks that there is a national security angle and they want to look into the case, what is the problem with it? Manojit ji.
First of all, Mominpur is not a border district.
No,
right?
I am not saying it's a border district. No. I am not saying Mominpur is a border district. But any incident that you call a petty communal incident, and the NIA in its wisdom thinks that they want to come into it and they want to see the case, what is the big deal about it?
No. First of all, I did not call it a petty communal incident.
I have it on record.
I'm still calling it a petty incident. Yes, it is a petty incident. What the nature of it is will be investigated into by both the police, Calcutta police, and NIA under the direction of the High Court. Now, if your argument is true, NIA smells that there is something petty about national security, we challenge them to come up with that evidence as soon as possible. What they have done in last 3 weeks. Last 4 weeks,
I want to bring in Pratim Ranjan Bose and Vivek Srivastava also into the discussion.
You have the right to ask what evidences they have found.
I'll come back to the evidence bit of it. I'll come back to the evidence bit of it. Your point is taken. Mr. Pratim Ranjan Bose, when you see the statement coming in from Mamata Banerjee, and we also heard Manojit Mandal and the kind of questions they are raising about the role of the NIA, the manner in which they've been looking at certain cases, which the state government thinks that is not really a mandate. The local police is looking into it. This does send across a wrong message, and administratively speaking, it sets the stage for a direct collusion between the central agencies and the state agencies, and it's not a good scenario for the law and order situation.
100%, Anusha. If we two things are different. One is government, one is party. So NIA is acting, and the BJP has no role in terms of deploying NIA, and Trinamool has no role in describing it as a BJP's agency, so to say, kind of. So these two are different. Mamata Banerjee said as the Chief Minister of West Bengal, so it is coming from the government of West Bengal, and that's a very irresponsible statement. Because you are raising questions on the agencies of your country. So
but the question, and I'm just being fair here in the spirit of the debate, Pratimji, the argument that Manojit Mandal was making is that where is the evidence? Even if you have come into a case, there has to be a plausible ground for an esteemed, well-reputed elite agency like NIA to really step in. The argument of the government is there is no substantial basis, and these are just interferences.
Right. First of all, do we know that there is no design? Who are we really? I can tell you in very, very conservatively, the differences between external and internal threats are diminishing. A lot of things are at work. Just this year, a very big probe connecting West Bengal has been on, where apparently it was a case of under-invoiced exports, but later it was found out to be a very cross-border and including multiple countries with involvement to online lotteries, online gaming, and couple of arrests has already been made by ED in the state and recoveries were done. So I don't know whether all this will be linked. Now my question is very simple. I am no one to tell that there was, I think you are referring to Mominpur violence. Mominpur violence, whether it is small or big, is a different issue. That's a matter of perspective. Mr. Mandal can say it's a petty matter. That's his choice. To me, it's not a petty matter. But the bigger question is, does Mr. Mandal or me or you or anyone here know that whether there was a larger, it is part of...
No, you're right. And there has to be some substantial basis when the state government raises question, and there has to be a substantial basis when the NIA decides to step in. How much of those really come into the public domain is a question, because those substantial bases we can keep asking for, we won't get an answer to. Mr. Vivek Srivastava, the argument of the BJP is that appeasement politics is what Mamata Banerjee's government has been doing, and as a result of that we have seen multiple instances of communal violence fan out in the state, and when the central agencies step in, they try to do their job, they don't like it, and that's why this entire political statement has really come out. How do you see this, Mr. Srivastava?
See, first of all, I mean, it's not happening only in Bengal, it is happening across the nation. It happened at the time when the farmers' agitation was over there. It happened at the time of Delhi riots. It is happening across the country. And since the person to whom you were talking before, he said that look, the NIA never takes a case directly. It is always via the police. Majority of the states are BJP dominated. That is point number one. And there are so many pretexts on which the NIA is entering into cases which are very petty, and it should not. So most of the government agencies, be it the NIA or the CBI or the ED or the income tax, it's all political vendetta going on. 20 or 21-year-old girl from Bangalore, she was charged. And you are putting UAPA on almost everyone across the nation who's your political adversary.
There was an FIR against her. There was an FIR against her. I don't think there was a UAPA.
Yes, I know. So it's all an excess. It's all an excess. Somebody from the BJP, comes up, files an FIR in some vague state, and then the NIA jumps in, and suddenly you start putting in the cases, and suddenly there is victimization. Point number one. Point number two, what has changed since 2014? Something big that has changed is that we had so many governments before 2014, 70 years as they call it. There was the Congress, there was the Third Front, across the state also. Sometimes there was the left, sometimes there was somebody else. But everybody followed the Indian constitution and believed the constitution is supreme and should not be changed. Here we have a central government which has its own RSS agenda of trying to incorporate.
Are you really telling me, Mr. Srivastava, that the state of West Bengal has not seen political violence? Are you really telling me that before the BJP became the principal opposition party in the state of West Bengal, the left versus the TMC? No, come on, that's exactly the point, that now you will comfortably make it only political violence with no national security angle.
Very much later on. The TMC came very much later on. It was the left versus the Congress for many years. And the TMC came out of the Congress, number one. Number two, out of the way jaakarke, nobody used the central agencies.
Are you sure? Misuse of central agencies. There's a very famous observation by the Supreme Court called the cage parrot. And that was not during the BJP tenure. So I don't think any political party can have any degree of deniability over that. But I take your point. Shatorupa, you want to come in. There are many questions that have been raised about the manner in which the central government is allegedly using the central agencies, also the NIA. Respond to these charges.
No, I've been listening to the other two analysts with great respect, and it really concerns me when somebody wants to bring in RSS agenda to everything that goes wrong in the country. It's really hilarious. But coming back to your question, and you wanted some examples.
Sure.
I was cut short, so I couldn't give any.
Yeah.
The Honorable Chief Minister has gone on record saying, and she did not whisper this in my ears or your ears, it was there during her election campaign where she openly said all the Muslims must vote for the Trinamool. She has again. You remember the.
Manojit ji, I'll come back to you. I'll give you the chance to contradict. Shatorupa ji, please go ahead.
You will remember, Anusha, the huge hue and cry that she had made about the army being Tolaba. She had equated the Indian army to a band of people who raise money, because they were doing a routine exercise on the bridge in front of Navarno. Now, coming back to her other agenda, she has been openly saying that the Muslims in her state, for her, are nothing but milk cows. Dudhel Goru is the word she has used. Now, this is enough of personal accusation to her. Again, let me remind you, West Bengal is known as a recognized safe haven for terrorists. And that is why you have NIA and you have other central agencies coming.
Before I go to Manojit Mandal, Shatorupa, what is your basis for saying... Yes, Manojit, I'm coming to you. Shatorupa ji, what I want to understand from you, you made a very big statement. You said that West Bengal is a safe haven for terrorists. You're a responsible politician. When you make that statement, what is your basis for saying that?
Look at the number of riots which have happened. Look at the number of incidents of communal violence which has happened. How many, number one, have you people got to know at the national level? Number two, how many have been properly investigated? And number three, it is known by the regional media. I'm sure national media is also aware of the number of times that the Honorable Chief Minister has jumped into police stations to rescue these kind of people. And what Mr. Bose was reminding you is that the number of scams which are going on now and the number of arrests which have been made and the evidence which is coming out.
All right. I want to bring in Manojit ji also into the discussion. Manojit ji,
I can't
1 minute to you to respond to all the allegations that have been made. Shatorupa ji, let him make an argument. Manojit ji, please go ahead.
Are the allegations? I mean, you consider them to be allegations. Bengal has become safe haven for
I asked her a question. I took exception to that, Manojit ji.
What is NIA? How many terrorists have been caught in Bengal for the last 10 years? Show me the numbers. Your imagination doesn't work, madam. You are an imaginative person. I'm sorry to say this. You are self-shooting your own state. You're saying that this is safe haven of terrorists. Where maximum number of terrorists are being caught in your state, Kashmir and Delhi. And if a communal riot, suppose a communal riot has happened anywhere in the country, if that is equated with terroristic act, then everywhere NIA should go. NIA should go to Bangalore, to UP, to Delhi, where 50 people were killed. Are the NIA investigating the Delhi riots 2 years back that happened? Why do I need to debate with this kind of argument? Anusha, I'm ashamed that I'm debating with this kind of argument. NIA is investigating into communal riot. If this is the premise, then NIA should go to everywhere. First, they should go to Delhi. What happened in Delhi where 50 people were killed? Amazing. And the other person was talking about the BJP has got no connection with NIA. Let me ask this question to that person, quote unquote, political analyst. Shubhendu Adhikari says that NIA is going to come. 3 days later, NIA is coming. How does this happen? Shubhendu Adhikari said that this person is going to be interrogated by CBI. The next 3 days later, that person is investigated.
Pratimda, I'll come to you. Pratimda, I'll come to you.
Please be courteous. Don't be uncivic. Please be courteous. I know I'll call you out. So NIA, what Shubhendu Adhikari said, what Dilip Ghosh says, happening within 3 days. What does it suggest?
Okay, I will focus. I'm going to focus. I'm going to focus on the crux of the matter. I'm going to focus on the crux of the matter.
Information. It is not the TMC.
One second.
Opposition parties. All other opposition parties are questioning the agency.
All right, Manojit ji, you've made your point. Manojit ji, you've made your point. Shatorupa, first to you, and then I'll go to Vivek and Pratimda as well. Shatorupa, NIA and its mandate. No. Please listen to the question. There are a lot of things that have been said. I don't want to indulge into whataboutery. My question is that NIA has a special mandate to look after the internal and the national security of this country. Does it behove the agency to look into instances? Manojit ji, please, let me raise the question.
Please convince her about the argument.
One second. It's not my job to convince her one way or the other. My job is to ask her a question, and that's what I'm doing. Shatorupa ji, does it behove the agency to investigate matter which the local police is already investigating and which, in the opinion of the local police, does not have an internal security clause or an internal security concern?
Anusha, I started with this. The police of West Bengal have completely lost their credibility considering the number of shameless incidents that they have allowed to happen. So obviously, if the local people have asked for the CBI or the ED or now NIA will come. And to consider what Manojit Mandal has said, with all due respects to him, if I really have such an imaginative, fertile mind and it's all in the air and there's no logic behind the NIA coming, then the Chief Minister of West Bengal should say, okay, come, be my guest, and do your investigation and carry on. Give us a report also. It will help in our administration. They did not do that.
Okay. Point being made. I am short of time. Mr. Pratim Ranjan Bose and Vivek Srivastav. Pratimda, first to you. Please make your point.
Yeah, first of all, this Trinamool spokesperson's comments are hilarious. If he says NIA is a BJP agency, then police is a Trinamool agency.
Yes, please.
No, because he referred me.
Manojit ji, I have taken an exception to what he has said. Let's focus on the debate. Pratimda, please go ahead. Pratimji, please go ahead.
West Bengal government is under political pressure, with the corruption charges and all these things. And an election is coming. So I think it's a proposition, political proposition to divert it to somewhere else. And that is exactly what is happening. If police is inquiring, police will come out with the truth. If NIA is inquiring, NIA has to get it revalidated by the court, whether it is right, its evidences are right or wrong. So if NIA is wrong, then NIA will be wrong. NIA can be called out. NIA is a very new organization.
Okay, I have last 1 minute. Vivek Srivastav, I want you to come in and make your closing argument.
You cannot put everything onto the courts. The police can be corrupt. The judges, you can't just say ki bhai galti hai.
All right. I think we've lost that line with Vivek Srivastava. Shatorupa, last 30 seconds to you, and then I have no time on the show anymore. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Anusha. You see, NIA, like the other agencies, are central agencies, and they're all investigative, independent agencies. One should have respect for them. If one feels that something is going wrong in and around their surroundings, NIA or any other central agency should be allowed. Because really, I'm telling you, Anusha, I'm not the only one saying this. West Bengal police has completely lost their credibility. They are completely run by one party, and I'm not just saying this as a BJP spokesperson. Look at what happened yesterday, or day before, I'm sorry. Which, under what stretch of imagination would you think that the police, who are the peacekeepers, who are supposed to be lawmakers, who are supposed to be protectors of law, they would bite a harmless person like who's agitating about the debate? I mean,
I'm short of time, so I'll have to interrupt you there, Shatorupa ji. Manojit Mandal, Shatorupa, Pratim Ranjan Bose, Vivek Srivastava, I thank you all for being a voice on the show tonight. One thing I can say as a journalist and as an observer and also a citizen of this country, that by puncturing the credibility of the central or a state agency, essentially you are some way puncturing the law and order situation and the overall administration of a politically and also from the internal security point of view, a very sensitive state like West Bengal. And this politics between the TMC and BJP, needless to say, will continue to go on. Slipping into a very short break.